just so we can know. Hey, Chris, my question for this week is in the field of nutrition. How can you navigate the holidays without overeating chocolate or eating chocolate or other sweets all the time? Do you have any tips how to moderate yourself with your favorite candy or chocolate? I mean, a bit of chocolate is okay, but not 100 grams to 200 grams per day. What makes things more difficult is that chocolate is all around me at the moment, and my favorite kind too. Okay, so this is a great question, David, and it's something that comes up for a lot of people. So I don't want you to feel weird about this or find that it's strange or think that you're doing something bad, because everyone does this. And I'm going to layer it. There's a couple things, and then there's going to be some action that you guys can take. The thing that we can understand is usually when it comes to something like chocolate or something like cookies, right? These are two examples that stick out to me from what past clients have done. When it gets to be the holidays, those things are around more often. But what we say in our mind is, I can't have those things for X or Y reason. Maybe because it's going to make me gain weight. Maybe because I'm trying to cut back on sugar. Maybe whatever it is. So then because we have this thought that we can't have the thing, it only makes us want the thing more. It only makes it seem like, oh, this is something that I'm never going to get to have again. This is something that I know I shouldn't be having. So let me have as much as I can right now, because then once it's over, I'll go back to what I was doing. That's kind of what happens. And it falls into alignment with this idea of like all or nothing. It's like, okay, I'm going to have it all, or I'm going to have nothing at all. Like there's no in between. And the reality is, you and everyone else who's in this coaching group and myself, like all of you, we exist in the messy middle. We exist in the messy middle. And what that really means is, yes, you can totally be aware of the fact that you're working towards something, right? That you have this nutrition goal in the back of your mind. And you can also be aware that chocolate is delicious and cookies are delicious and you can have them. So I want you to be aware of that. So the way we can actually go about this is there's a couple things when it comes to holidays. You could try two things, two approaches. It depends on the person. It depends what they're working on. Approach number one is putting the chocolate on your plate with your meal. Now, what I mean by this is literally at every meal, you could do a breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You could do lunch and dinner. You could just do dinner, whatever you want. Actually put the chocolate on your plate, put the cookie on your plate it with your meal, because what actually will happen is you're going to eat your balanced plate, whatever that looks like in this moment, right? For general statement here is like, we're looking at 25% carb, 25% protein, 50% fruits and veggies, a thumb of fat. That's our basic template. We might adjust for whatever reasons. And if we're eating that, and we also place the piece of chocolate on our plate, then we kind of include it. And suddenly it doesn't seem like this special thing, right? Some of the allure gets taken away. And it's like, oh, I can have this when I want this. It's a psychological thing, really, but it does make a huge difference. So the first thing is, when it comes to snack, because I'm going to put candy is a snack. It's not a meal. It's a snack. You're usually eating it not because you're hungry, because in essence, you want it, you're craving it. There's some other things going on. So what we can do is actually look at it and say, okay, I'm going to plate it, put it on my plate, see how it fits in with my balanced plate. It's a part of it. And then it's like, oh, I've had the thing. I don't have to have it between. I've just had it, right? So that's number one. Number two is you can practice this. And this is one that as you practice it, you get better at it. 50% of the time you'll say yes to the chocolate, and 50% of the time you'll say no to the chocolate. Like you have the odds of choosing the best thing for you in that moment by using the rule of 50-50. 50% of the time you'll say, yes, I do want the chocolate. I know I'm kind of just having a craving right now, but you know what? I'm going to have it. And the other 50% of the time you'll say, no, I'm not going to have the chocolate. I had some a little bit earlier. It's okay. Like, and you practice this. It's going to take practice, and it's okay. It's okay if you're like, I'm going to have the chocolate, right? That's the thing that we need to be aware of. That's the thing that we can actually practice and see how it goes. 50-50, and also plating your snacks with your meal. That kind of takes some of the things away, some of this pressure around it. Now, another thing I wanted to talk about, and I hope that answers that question for you, David. And if anyone else has any other questions, you could just, comment and we'll be able to go over them in more detail. This is something that was really interesting that came up. I think Amy and I were talking about it, but it's something that I really, really love helping others figure out. So when it comes to holidays, when it comes to parties, when it comes to all of those things, when it comes to going out to eat, right? And we are in like a weight loss phase, it feels very tricky because it's like, I don't want to not enjoy myself, right? And the truth is, I want you to enjoy yourself. So we have to establish right away, one meal, one piece of chocolate, one whatever, it literally is a blip on the rest of the scheme of things. It doesn't do anything. However, what usually happens after this for some folks is when they have the thing that makes them feel like they've gone off the rails, they keep going off the rails, as in they think they've messed up. So what's the point of keep going, right? It sounds pretty familiar, probably for you, for everyone. We've all been there. So one thing that I like to have folks do is when you're going to some sort of holiday or any of the things I mentioned, is planning ahead. So one of the obvious things is make sure you eat before going to the holiday party or the event. Make sure you have breakfast. Make sure you have lunch. Make sure you're not skipping meals in an effort to have more or to save up your calories. I don't want you doing that because the chances of you overdoing it increase. So if that's not what we're doing, then what do we do? Well, the second thing I like to set is called like a horizon goal. And a horizon goal basically is we're making a game plan that we're going to try for that specific event. We're going to try the game plan. And if it works well, we're going to do it again at the next one. And if it doesn't work well, it's okay, because we'll talk about it and we'll see how we can adjust it. So a few examples of like horizon planning. We'll use the example of going out to eat, and then we can use a party. The horizon goal when we go out to eat for someone might be, I am going to have one plate and one dessert. So I am going to only eat off my plate for my meal, and then I am only going to eat my dessert. I'm not going to eat everyone else's. I'm going to have my thing, and that's it, right? Or it could be, I am going to get whatever meal I get, I will make sure has enough protein. And then if it's too big, I'll just box up half and take the other half home. Like, that's it, right? That's a horizon goal is like something you're working toward. Now, another example is if we go to a holiday party and let's say we're trying to work on how much we're drinking, right? A horizon goal you can say to yourself, or even tell someone, I am going to have like a 3-drink maximum. Like, that's it. I'm going to try that. And you tell someone else, because when someone else offers you something, you'll say, you know what, 3 drinks, I'm tapped. Same thing with the horizon goal at the meal. Oh no, I'm just having my own plate, right? We think that someone's going to judge us or say something sometimes, and the reality is no one's going to say anything at all. It's more of something that you say out loud, that you're planning ahead, and it makes you that much more likely to actually follow through on it versus being like, no, I'll wing it. No, we need to have a plan in place. We need to look at that, and then we can see the obstacles that normally come up, and we can keep adjusting. So that's really, really key here. We want to look at the plan. We want to be able to adjust, and we want to be able to address it and come back to it as things come up. So I really hope that makes sense. And if there are other questions, please just write below in the Facebook group, and we'll be able to answer them. I'll be able to answer them as they come up.